Those who have followed my work over the years know that I use very large telescopes to observe and take photos of space. Astronomy was the passion that fueled my journey to where I am today. Well, recently several people have approached me about the possibility of the flat Earth. Basically, they say that they believe the Earth is like a pancake with all of the continents and the oceans resting on top of the pancake. Now, that immediately sounds way out there, but I'm willing to take an educated look at anything, regardless of how implausible it might sound. So let's take a look from a flat Earth perspective and see if this is even possible. Proponents of the flat Earth say that the sun moves in circles around the top of the flat Earth, so that in the course of 24 hours, it's hovering over some point of the top of the Earth. After all, somewhere on Earth, it's always daylight, as you can easily make a call to any country and discover. So if this is the case, then during a lunar eclipse, there's a spherical shape that covers the moon. If the Earth is not a sphere, but merely a flat disk, then the only way the sun could cast a round shadow on the moon would be if the sun was positioned on the opposite side of the flat disk. However, if the entire world is spread out over the top side of the flat disk, and during a lunar eclipse in the States, you can call, say, Israel, and they'll tell you that the sun is straight overhead, then the sun cannot be behind the disk throwing a shadow. Therefore, up to multiple times a year, any person on Earth can visually observe and prove that the Earth cannot be flat. Now, the president of the Flat Earth Society is a self-proclaimed evolutionist. Okay, so if you know me, you already know that's one strike against him in my book. The only explanation is to say that the moon is a luminous body like its own sun or like a light bulb, and that another unknown semi-transparent invisible body, like an invisible moon that only becomes visible during eclipses, comes in between the Earth and the moon and semi-blocks out the light from the moon. Also interesting to note, if the Earth is a sphere, isn't it interesting that calculations would tell us that the sun is opposite the moon whenever a total eclipse happens? This is also something that we can check. Pretend that the Earth is a sphere. Look at a globe and pick the area opposite where you'll see the eclipse. Call someone in that country when you start to see the eclipse and ask them if the sun is directly overhead. This is something that anyone can actually check out without traveling to space. The Hindu people have a legend that a demon with a decapitated head tries to swallow the moon during an eclipse, but the moon just slides down his throat and out the other side of his head, reappearing. So you can believe in a Hindu demon as the result of a lunar eclipse on a flat Earth, or you can use the intelligence and observational ability that the God of the Bible has given you to clearly see that the sun is disappearing behind the Earth, causing a shadow to be cast on the moon. Again, when I was approached about this, the first troubling issue was that even though the people who approached me were Bible believers, the fellow at the heart of the Flat Earth Society is not. As I said, he's an evolutionist. That was my first warning sign that maybe some evolutionist was trying to infiltrate the Bible-believing creationists and cause derision between them. Basically, a cleverly devised red herring within the creation movement. Next, I realized that this is not a Christian issue. Bible believers throughout history have not perpetuated the notion that the Earth was flat. Those in the time of Columbus didn't think they would fall off the edge of the Earth. That's a myth. In fact, the only groups to perpetuate the idea of the flat Earth were select pagan cultures. Now, the reason I say only select pagans is because even the ancient Greeks, with all of their gods and myths, didn't really fall for the idea. Is this something we should seriously be debating, or merely a rabbit trail designed to keep us preoccupied on non-issues? Replay this video and think about the model of the lunar eclipse. Without evoking a magical invisible planet or a demon's head, can we seriously entertain the thought of the flat Earth? I'm David Rives. Truly, the heavens declare the glory of God. And now my friend, astronomer Dr. Danny Faulkner has a few comments to shed more light on the issue.
A few years ago, my family was vacationing in Wisconsin. We're on the Door Peninsula. It separates Green Bay from Lake Michigan. And one day, my son and I went out to the beach on the Green Bay side. It's about 20 miles, I think, over to Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And from right at this water's edge, we could not see anything beyond the water. It was just open water as far as the eye could see. But then we got in the car, drove around, went on some bluffs high, maybe 100 feet or more above the beach. And from there, we could easily see across and see the tree line of Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And you know what? You can't do that if it's a flat earth, only on a spherical earth, because if it's spherical, down on the beach, the tree line is below the curvature, but if you go up high, you can see across easily enough. You know, this is something the ancients observed and noted. From islands, they could maybe see another island when they're up on a promontory, but they couldn't see it from the beach. This is something anyone can do just with their eyes, thinking and looking and observing. This is visible every day. The sky is clear there on the Green Bay side of Door Peninsula. No special atmospheric requirements other than the sky being clear, clearly demonstrating that the Earth is spherical and not flat.
There are buttons below where you can share this with your friends. And there's a nice little button that lets you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's waiting to be clicked because each week we bring you awesome science that confirms the biblical record. Thanks for watching. Oh, and comment below if you've learned something.